focus today any different now with 5 days into camp? What's
we had a really good scrimmage last night, so we got an opportunity to watch some film and pinpoint things that we needed to work on. Kind of see where we are. So we did a lot of cleanup. The guys will tell you more conditioning.
What stood out about the scrimmage to you?
The amount of talent, the depth of the team, and the way you could split the groups up, and be dynamic a bunch of different ways. The way that you can mix and match, and then also, that we've got a ways to go before we get what we're trying to get to, and all the chemistry and that type of stuff on the floor. Personalities, the chemistry's been great, but we're still working on that chemistry on the floor.
And as you continue this, the 3-spot conversation and everything, what has stood out to you about the guys that are in that conversation and just kind of what you're looking for?
I think you guys have the conversation.
Okay.
They're all of the guys that are in that spot, have raised their level of competition. And they've all pushed one another, and it's not in a selfish way. That's the best part about it, from my standpoint, is, no one is out there just trying to be a hog. Everybody is out there trying to figure out how they help the team win. And so it's been competitive for sure, but it's been fun to watch that.
Defensively, how does Jarrett and Evan's responsibility change now that if they don't have 3 7-footers in the lineup per se?
Yeah, not much at all.
Okay.
What changes is the people around them and what our expectations of them are, right? Their job initially is one of them's going to protect the rim, the other one's going to protect the guy who's protecting the rim. Now the smalls or the perimeter players, they have to do their job on the perimeter to protect those guys. So their responsibilities won't change much.
Go ahead, Jerry.
What, if anything, has changed about having offense and winning from them this season last year?
I think he's playing with a little freer mind on that end of the floor. Looking to be more of a creator and more of an attacker at the same time. He's, like I said, he's defensive rebounding the ball and pushing it post to post. Defenses make a decision, and he's got the ability to make the plays from there. So I think, he's looking to be more of a creator, as well as an attacker.
What type of weapon can that be for you offensively if he can handle those creation responsibilities while also having Darius and Donovan on the floor?
Well, you think about what you're able to do with the ball in his hands, and now those guys are coming off of different screens and different actions. They're hard to guard with the ball in their hand. They're harder to guard, when they're off the move and you have to chase them. So I think it opens it up for that. It also allows you to work both sides of the floor. He could be the big guy in the middle of the floor with the ball. They've got to guard him, and then you've got, dynamic players all around him on both sides of the floor, which is going to space the floor out for you to get your actions.
He's taking quite a lot of threes behind us right now. How much of that do you want that to be part of his offense?
We've got confidence in him to take shots when he's open. And he's going to have the ability to be, a 3-level scorer. We know what he can do in the paint and around the rim. In college, his mid-range was elite. And now, again, if he's open from the 3, he needs to shoot it and knock it down. And again, that just helps with our spacing, which in this league, with your guards that we have who can get to the rim and penetrate, you want to create as much space as you can for them.
And you guys played big a lot last season. I know it's going to be a great league you guys use this year, but with so many talented guards and guys you consider smaller, would you ever consider maybe going with smaller lineups at times and maybe they're trying to play a little bit more speed and just bring one of those big guys down low?
We'll experiment with a lot of stuff. We do have a lot of talented perimeter players, but we also have very capable big guys. So we'll try to find the balance. And again, we're not stuck in our ways. We're trying to find the best groups that we can put on the floor. And if that's a small group, we'll live with it.
You mentioned that you were watching some things on film from the scrimmage that you wanted to address some of it. What are you working on?
Defensively, been in the summer, guys aren't really running back and playing transition defense, So we're just building those habits again of, even in transition, getting back, but understanding, how we want to protect the paint, where we need to shift to the ball, and those types of things. And then offensively, just continuing to work on spacing, playing with big guys and guards who like to attack, trying to put those pieces in the right places to create as much space as we can.
You talked to Robin. He's obviously a pretty fun guy, kind of a different guy. How have you seen his personality mold in this team really well?
He's fit in easily. There's, again, so many good dudes here. He brings a different flavor for sure, but he's fun. He's intelligent, he's bright, so he's talking on the floor. He's engaging as a person, so it's been a smooth transition.
For all your years in the league, he's got to be one of the most eccentric, unique personalities you've ever coached, I'm guessing.
Yeah, again, haven't been around him that long, but he is, truly who he is, and I think that's the best part about it, and it's great for the young guys to see is you can be the best version of yourself on and off the court, right? You don't have to conform to other people's rules because that's just what they say, and I think that's a lesson in itself. So many guys are so worried about outside noise and fitting in, so to speak, but here's a guy who's just himself and has been able to fit in and last a long time.
Just out of curiosity, what do you think about his hook shot?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Going back to the small forward conversation, do you need more defense or offense from that spot?
And this is not a punt, but it's going to sound like a punt. I think we have both there from, numerous guys who can do both of those things. If you look at the guards that you have, right, and their ability to play make, the bigs, ability to play in the pick and roll and play make and all those things, that spot doesn't always have to be the same throughout the game either, right? And I think we can put different pieces in that spot that at different moments in the game can give us a different look.
As different as Robin is, Jarrett has some differences too in terms of personality. You pride yourself so much on communication and connection with these guys. What do you talk to Jarrett about off the court that's not basketball related? Do you have to learn some of these things that he likes so that you can get through to him or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
but also I don't want to go to these extremes. You know what I mean? You can talk to Jarrett about anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Jarrett is an extremely intelligent person. He likes to laugh and crack jokes just like everybody else, and most of our conversations here in the group are talking shit to each other, right? And Jarrett likes to do that as well. So that's where we kind of find that we all have a common ground. It's you want to learn more about him, and we ask questions about, home and his parents and his brothers. We do ask those questions and build those relationships, but most of what we talk about is just talk about each other.
So you're not talking to him about Twilight Zone or anything like that?
No. Yeah.
I got one more. Just Luke and the way he's fit in with the staff. How do you feel like he's become a part of you guys and starting out here in camp?
It's been easy. He and I have been friends for 20 years now. So a lot of us had relationships with him before he got here. But his personality fits anywhere. You know what I mean? He's very low ego, wants the best for the group. Is selfless in the way he approaches everything. Confident at the same time. Willing to give suggestions and willing to be told, that I disagree, and then we move on. So he's been great so far. Been really helpful.
Last year, you guys used that 3-2 zone a lot with the bigs. Obviously, you could change that. But is there a way that you can still use that, or did you like how that worked last year?
Yeah, we'll still use it. I think for us, it was more about Evan and his ability to cover that range that he needed to cover. We've talked about how we can kind of morph it into different zones at the same time because you are obviously moving. You did lose one of those guys on the back end, so we will use it. And again, it may look a little different, but we will use it for sure.
JB, you were so enamored with tall ball last year, and it gave the opposition fits. So how do you still work in a tall ball type system this year?
Again, it's more about the personnel. I do believe that, when you have big players who are skilled, they present problems for teams that want to play smaller. But, I'm also not foolish enough to not put our best players on the floor because we're just hunting for that. So, changes happen. And as a coach, you just have to be flexible. But it's a belief in the guys that you have in your group and how do you get the most out of them. And the same thing as of last year, the tall ball was born out of us trying to put our best players on the floor. So we'll go out this year and we'll do the same thing.
Any more questions?